This video is about David possibly having caught a second body by Trapmore Ross. Trapmore Ross. Let's go.
So the David situation just keeps getting darker, and some new stuff has been circulating over the last couple of days that, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds like other people might have been in danger based on what was going on with David and this young underage girl Celeste. Okay, it's very strange, it's very spooky, and based on a couple of messages that have been circulating, it does sound like there's a possibility that there could be another victim. Another person might have lost their life.
Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I'm not doing this reaction right now, because this thing you're talking about is a possibility. It's a possibility that there might have been another body, bro. Why are we speculating like this, bro? Why are we speculating like this when the story's already crazy as it is? But Trapmore Ross does his research, so I'll give it a fair shake.
Having been tangled up in this twisted love triangle, and as I said before, this just keeps getting sadder and sadder. Now, if you saw the video that I posted yesterday, I did a full 2-hour breakdown about the whole situation. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. I did this video yesterday, all right? David hid clues about murder in every song. I didn't intend for this originally to be 2 hours, but I just kept finding facts. I kept finding info. I kept finding lyrics and music videos that were extremely alarming. And you know, you guys have kind of given your response on this. I think singing PDF jingles, and this out for lunch, dinner, or a smoothie or something with David, right? We recognize that little spot star on his head from you know, from the last video. He'd appeared. That's in the video thumbnail. You know, it's the same image of him with a little star on his head. Are those spots like the zit stickers? I'll be using those. I got the blue ones. I definitely can't be rocking the black ones now. That's a bad look.
Bro, I can't. But I can't lie, bro. I do not be rocking pimple patches, bro. I don't know about dudes rocking pimple patches. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Let's just be real. And that's some woman-ish, bro. I'll leave that to the girls. I appreciate. I might. I don't know. No, I never. I just can't be okay with walking around with like a star sticker on my face, bro, or even like the regular ones that be like all type of colors, bro. That's just a little zesty.
Yeah, people are saying that this is an engagement ring. Okay, so this is essentially something that's been going to bad luck.
An engagement ring, chat.
Yeah,
that's probably a real diamond too, bro. That's insane.
People are saying that this is an engagement ring. Okay, so this is essentially something that's been going around. I did touch on this in the last video, but I didn't really have time. There was a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even get a chance to get to. But, you know, trigger warning, okay? I'm making this video for documentary journalistic purposes, okay? This is a story in the public interest. It's a public story, and I just need to give you guys a warning, okay? I don't intend to disrespect or put down or belittle any of the situations that I'll be covering in this video. It's a very serious topic. It's very important that I warn you that we're going to be talking about very triggering themes like SA, you know, an underage girl seemingly being groomed, and very nefarious activities. So, you know, if that's not for you, if that's something that's going to be triggering for you.
Bro, if this whole video ends up being trigger warnings and like speculation, I'm
chat attached, and they're saying that this is her brother. All right, this is a screenshot of something that I touched on in the last video. Celeste's brother speaks up and reveals that David did kill his sister. Okay, this is a chat. Somebody
no
says,
low effort content, bro. Damn. So don't put any of my videos in that.
Dude, why does David follow you? All respect to your sister, and I hate how shitty people are being. Was it really him? Jesus, all love, man. He replied, yes, it was him, because he found my account out of nowhere and followed me. This dude says, fuck. Well, he has it coming. That's wild to just randomly. Did you ever even talk to him? I met him once in person. There's something being with him, like, was she living with him? All of this shit's so confusing and disgusting. And he replies, I knew, and I went to the police about it, but they said lack of evidence, so it was waved off. They responded, bullshit. Now that there's 1,000 people backing you up, that won't happen again. But if they had listened, he says, even if they don't do anything, they haven't even done anything towards him. And they reply, that's how it is with celebrities, just look at fucking Diddy. They don't do shit. He says, I know it effing sucks. Effing
alright, bro.
Crazy that people suffer for it. How long has she been gone? And he replied, dead. And he says 2 weeks. Now, this might have been a big reveal. I don't know if this is necessarily accurate. There's been a lot of speculation over how long the body had been left in that trunk. You know, trigger warning, but the body had been cut up, wrapped in plastic, and it had been severely decomposed. That's what the police.
Damn, so 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks. From when? Bro, I wish he had the date of this post, bro, because 2 weeks from when? But that's insane, bro. 2 weeks ago. Like, that's 14 days.
Now, he's saying 2 weeks. That could be information that's been revealed to the family privately to say that the body was decomposed and she would have passed away 2 weeks ago. Or maybe he knows, you know, maybe she stopped replying 2 weeks ago. Maybe they last heard from her 2 weeks ago. Maybe that's an indication of she was active until 2 weeks ago. We don't know for sure. So the person replies, says, damn, that soon? Have people been saying like a month? The dude's a weirdo. His songs all have weird messages and imagery. He says, what do you think happened? Like he didn't just want her to expose him being with her? The brother replies, I don't know. He says, damn, was your sister like in love with him and choosing to stay? I'm guessing that it was all just him manipulating her. He said, yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting till she was 18 to get married and stuff like that. He replied, effing sick. What's crazy about all those people in his circle who knew and say stuff? I saw one guy did get sued by something, something, something pushing. He said, dog, what? I never knew that. My sister wouldn't say anything, ever. He says, dude, there's so much stuff in the Discord that he has. He says, what the F? There's a Discord? And he says, yeah.
Bro, that's interesting, because in the last video I made, they were talking about, like, blackmailing. Like, she was trying to blackmail him or whatever. Or, like, maybe the girls that she knew type shit were trying to blackmail bro and get some type of money or whatever. But it's crazy to hear from her brother that she would have never snitched. And that kind of lets me know that, like, everybody in the family was in on it, which is kind of scary and horrible, for real.
It was just his fan Discord and stuff. I wasn't in it, obviously, but from what I know, he was decently active in it. And some screenshots and screen recordings were posted today and yesterday after the news showed one guy saying this. And basically, this is the post from the Discord. Somebody commented that would drop the song about the missing girl Celeste Rivas. This was all the way back in August 2024. And he says, what the F? No way, dude. Please send me more if you know. He says, I got you, bro. Let me find everything that's been posted for you. That's why I said so many people were after David now after this. They have found so much evidence to back this stuff up. The brother replies, dude, I never knew this stuff. And then this random guy says, only a small number of people were aware until today. The brother replied, I wish I could have known. I could have used this. And the dude replies, you don't have your sister added on Discord, right? Bro replies, I don't even have Discord. And then this dude says, yeah, I was just seeing because someone had a screenshot of her account, supposedly. And then this guy replies, he said, this is what I got. He sends all the Discord screenshots, bunch of lyrics, other posts, other comments, sends it all to the brother. He said, are those photos something, something? I don't know if that's those photos real or those photos in here. And that song was unreleased David song. And he's posted all of this stuff. Here's the video proving those messages are real. And he replies, are those photos of her? He says, yes. Do you know of any of your sister's Instagram accounts? There were some messages people said was her messaging friends, but not really confirmed yet. And then he sends these screenshots, which these are screenshots from a leaked conversation with Celeste and a friend where she appears to admit to having relations with David, all right? And then the brother sends a bunch of pictures of Celeste saying, that's my sister, dog. That's the same girl. And he says, F, it is. And he says, you think this is real? And now this is where it gets crazy and we start talking about another victim. Yes, do you think...
What the fuck? What the fuck? I jumped the gun.
This is real. These are the chat logs, okay? And look, I don't know if it's safe to show you this in this video. I didn't show it to you in the last video, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna show you these messages, okay? Trigger warning. These are very dark, but
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna read these to you. I'm gonna try and redact anything super messed up, okay? But this is allegedly a message.
Bro, someone in my chat said there was another body found in the car yard along with Celeste, bro. I hope that ain't the case, bro. I really hope that ain't the case, bro. I mean, there's no other way. These kids are young as hell, bro. Ain't no natural circumstances, bro.
A set of messages between Celeste and a friend. The friend says, I'm just going to check up on you. Celeste says, I don't want to talk to anyone. The friend says, that's it. And she says, okay, yes, of course. And the friend says, but you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David or go back with him because I don't want to get you into any more trouble with him? Celeste replies, I'm safe. No, I'm not. The friend says, okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Celeste replies, love you too, and one. And now the next set of messages, trigger warning. These do appear to... I don't want to show this. Yeah. Can I show...
You don't want to show it, but you gonna show it, bro. Give him 10 seconds. He gonna show it.
This, like, can I even talk about this? I'm not gonna add any extra context. I'm just gonna very quickly breeze through this. Okay, the friend says I made it. I thought I would deal. So those
what, bro?
Comment says you think by David or just some other stuff. Now I think I saw an extended version of this where he seemed to reply that it was some other stuff. Yeah. So here's the last part of that message. He said you think it was shot by David or just some other stuff, and the guy just very ominously says other stuff, and then that's.
Bro, I don't believe in coincidences, chat. Maybe that's why I'm so schizo when it comes to situations like this. But I don't believe in coincidences, bro. You're telling me this?
The end of the conversation, they say, okay, now look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is all sounding a bit too suspicious. You're telling me that this Gus guy, this other guy, you've got a love triangle, these two guys are fighting over this young ting?
And, bro, and in the triangle, the three people in the triangle, one of them makes it out, and the other two just mysteriously disappear?
This underage person, all right, and this guy Gus is apparently getting his thing on. They're having some kind of argument. Someone was mad because she said he was mad because I didn't want to have a meal with him. Twisted, absolutely twisted, okay? So it sounds like this Gus guy is dead, all right? And we're waiting for more information to come out about this Gus guy. I don't know who this Gus guy is. I don't know what this is all about. But in the midst of that, we're beginning to see more and more little tidbits of evidence come out that are just even more and more damning. So another post has been going around on the David subreddit saying David was wearing her bracelets. That's a picture of him with some bracelets on. People
Bro, what?
Saying it's the same bracelets that Celeste had on in this picture. Now, I'm finding it hard to see that, but it kind of does look like the little pink joint that's going on here. I don't know if it's exactly the same one, but it does look very similar. The kind of hues look a bit similar. Now, one thing that I find a little bit strange, and I've been trying to find some evidence of this, but I seem to remember when the news, the kind of hues look a bit similar. Now,
but wearing the dead girl's bracelets is like, that's sick work, bro. That's sick work, bro.
The little pink joint that's going, and I've been trying to find some evidence of this, but I seem to remember when the news first broke, I thought that I'd seen a couple of articles basically saying that another body was found. You know, if we're talking about this alleged person called Gus that was killed, that sounds like a man, sounds like a man's name, right? But I did remember this, and I haven't been able to find anybody else talking about this, and maybe there's no connection, but I did see at the time articles going around that suggested 2 women were found in cars being investigated as homicides. Now, it seemed, I don't know whether this was 2 unrelated situations, or whether it's the same situation, or whether maybe they initially thought there were 2 bodies because of the way that, you know, sadly the bodies were separated, if that makes sense. But it says the LA County Medical Examiner has released new details on the remains of one of 2 women who were discovered in vehicles at 2 tow yards this week. Both deaths are investigated as homicides. One woman's remains were discovered Monday when police responded to the Hollywood Tow on Mansfield Avenue. Someone smelled a foul odor coming from the front trunk of the vehicle, and detectives investigated possible human remains. You know, we learned about that car. The descendant was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. We were unable at the time to examine the age or ethnicity. Initially, the remains were described as a head and torso. The owner of the vehicle was identified as David.
Bro, that's so gruesome,
what's interesting,
bro.
right?
That's so gruesome. Like, it's not even the whole person.
Right, the blow. Look, it's not necessary that these two are connected. I think this could have been a coincidence. When the first reporting came out and they were talking about two bodies, I wasn't sure if it was two bodies in the same car, two bodies in a different car, maybe two cars towed from the same spot. It looks like these are two separate things. But it's just so bizarre. And I think the thing about this Gus guy, when we find out more about him, I think that's going to be very revealing. So there's still been a lot of discussion about the potential motive, and some people have been saying that there's rumors that Celeste might have actually been pregnant at the time of her passing. And who knows? Could that, if that was the case, could that have been David's baby? Could it have been Gus's baby? Who knows? Who knows how twisted?
Oh my God, I didn't even peep that. Bro, that's a crazy motive, bro. That's a crazy motive. Bro, honestly, these prosecutors got their work cut out for them, bro. Everybody's doing the work for them. Or these investigators, I mean. Bro.
This love triangle could really get at this point, right? But these posts have been going around and people are suggesting that maybe the messages infer that she could have been pregnant at the time. So this is David says, I'll join the group chat with wifey and give y'all the story time. And it says, me and deleted user, this is David, got a kid on the way. And then this is a conversation. Somebody saying, basically, David, are you happily married or single? And basically, they're trying to find out what the relationship status is with him. And this deleted user, I think it's possible that this was Celeste. It's possible, all right? At David in the chat amid those rumors, people talking about kid on the way. That was a heart-stopping moment to read. Jesus Christ, bruh, double homicide. It's from 2024. She died 25 and couldn't have been pregnant.
Even if it's a joke, facts, bro. Talking about impregnating a 13-year-old is insane at 19, bro. This dude is the Joker. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. This dude really worse than the Joker, bro. Let's really talk about it, though.
And people are saying, even if it's a joke, making a joke about having a kid with a 13-year-old at 19 is insane. This guy really is worse than the Joker. People saying deleted user, though. Seems like other screen grabs still show her name. Saying yes, meaning she had multiple discords, just like on Instagram, or this is disgustingly referring to another girl. And it's saying the pregnancy announcement was 2024, so if that was about Celeste, she would have given birth by now. If it's true, then it's possible she had an abortion or miscarriage. She was just a child herself. Having a baby, oh boy, this is so effed. If she was pregnant then, she would have gave birth already. Some poor girl, this is so sad. She thought she was living it up. Sometimes teenagers need to listen to their parents. She left multiple times to be with this punk-ass man. Not putting blame on her, but sometimes children do need to follow rules and listen to the adults in their lives and not behave in such rebellious ways. Again, I'm not blaming her, so please don't come for me. May she rest well. People saying she couldn't have gotten an abortion, though. If a 14-year-old showed up to a clinic with a 20-year-old, they would most definitely contact the authorities.
That's such a fact, bro. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Especially if they recognize Celeste was a missing child on the run. That's facts.
But truthfully, she could have gotten there alone.
That's facts, right? Some people are saying that these screenshots could be fake. Saying darker by the minute. I'm telling you, he's a sicko and he can't erase all of his breadcrumbs. The investigators are busy. All right. People saying I highly doubt she was ever pregnant.
Bro, he left those breadcrumbs to be found, bro. It's no coincidence that all these songs and stuff like point to what could have happened or what possibly happened. Bro, he wanted the people to find out.
To find a way to go see someone to ask for help. It happens all the times for victims. Okay. People saying, would you rather have dinner with David or King Von? That's crazy.
Bro, right, would you rather have dinner with David or King Von? I 100% rather have dinner. I'd rather have dinner with David, and I will really grill him and ask him every question that I don't know the answer to. Now, a dinner with King Von would be cool, but I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Dudes like that scare me, bro.
Not sure if there's lots of proof of her wanting to be out other than one tweet where he says you wanted to be with your mum and sister, but this couldn't happen. Okay, actually typing that out, maybe you're right. Just saying that for a lot of it seems like he was manipulating her to be dependent on him to the point that she saw herself as just his girlfriend outside of the context of her being a child. Not defending him and don't mean to make it sound that way. I just think she probably never anticipated or had the mental maturity or age to understand just how much danger she was in. May she rest in peace, honestly. Do you think she could have been pregnant potentially at some point or when he killed her? Having a baby with a 14-year-old is not something you can really hide, but murder was not the logical solution. Bro was a certified serial killer psychopath. Statistically,
no, facts. It ain't something you can hide, bro, but like it ain't something you can hide. But at the end of the day, bro, I feel like so many like celebrities and like, bro, so many celebrities and athletes have had similar controversies. You know, some are locked up to this day. Other ones are free, bro. Other ones never got in trouble for nothing, which is really insane.
The most dangerous time for a woman with an abusive partner is during pregnancy. So I'm really thinking that's what happened. So look, this situation is so dark. I'm not sure where this is going to go. I think everybody is waiting for an arrest to be made. A lot of people are pointing the finger at David, thinking that he's about to get arrested. We saw in the last video he was allegedly cooperating with authorities in the investigation. I'm seeing other comments on Reddit, people saying, no, he's not cooperating. He's actually lawyered up and is refusing to talk. These are just rumors that I'm seeing floating around. Can't give you the absolute 100% truth at this stage. But what I do know is that this is a huge story. This is going to keep developing. And whether an arrest is made, whether something else happens, whether a final conclusion is reached before justice can be delivered. I think we're going to find out soon, but it's really sad. We're hoping to see justice for Celeste, however that looks. We're hoping to find out what happened to this Gus guy. I'm very curious about who this Gus guy is, so we're going to...
No, facts, bro. I'm real curious. I didn't even know what's good with bro Gus, bro, or what was good before Gus was shot and killed, bro. Because what, like, bro, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Like, ain't no way they're not related. Ain't no way, like, I just can't believe it, bro. There's no way you could explain to me that has nothing to do with each other, bro. Like, those two deaths have nothing to do with each other. And especially, like, the developments of the situation with the possible pregnancy, bro. This just fucking sinister, bro. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video. I think I'm gonna stop watching the video right here. Shout out Trap Lord Ross for that video. Good reaction. Let me know in the chat what y'all think, bro, because this whole situation is fried, bro.